Hey friends, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today I'm going to be showing you my little curated collection of shades inspired by Chappell Roan. Specifically her debut album, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, which only released last year on September 22nd. You may remember my video on my favorite Brat greens, obviously inspired by Charlie XCX's album Brat, but that was a lot more simple since I was just going off of one color. For this, it's a lot more abstract. I did mainly include shades inspired by her music videos, but I do have shades for her other songs from the album, as well as a couple of extras too. I personally think you'll enjoy this video more if you're already familiar with Chappell Roan. I mean, I will have like inspo pics included throughout the video, but I would highly recommend watching her videos, at least listening to the album before diving into this. If you are interested in that, I will have links for everything in the description box. But for now, let me just show you my picks. So we open up the album with the song Femininomenon, and I thought ILNP's two-piece was a great hot pink to not only match the tone of the song, but more importantly to match the outfit that she was wearing for it. I love that when you think of a two-piece, you automatically think of a bikini, but she's riding this dirt bike in this hot pink two-piece sort of outfit, and it is just so iconic, again, really setting the tone for honoring her Midwest roots, but being an absolute girly doing it. The next shade I have is Mooncat's When the Devil Strikes, which is for the song Red Wine Supernova. So just from the song name alone, I was initially thinking of going with a sultry wine red, but I ended up choosing this shade to specifically reference the Magician's Cut music video, where Chappell and the magician are wearing these black bodysuits with gold accents. I also think the name is kind of funny since the video opens up with a lawn sign that said God hates magic, so there's definitely a connection there. Then we have ILNP's Last Call, which I chose for the song After Midnight, which is actually one of my favorites from the album. It was immediate serotonin to my brain, and I just felt so seen as a Libra with lines like, "Baby, I like flirting, a lover by my side." It's just so good. And while Chappell Roan is a lesbian, this song definitely gives me bi energy since she has lines about wanting to kiss your boyfriend and your girlfriend, so we love the inclusivity. Last Call to me is perfect to represent staying out past midnight, especially with these subtle bi flag colors. It's a little hard to see it in this lighting, but once you see it in more extreme lighting, you can see that blue shimmer shift to purple and pink, so it's perfect. The next song on the album is Coffee, which is a lot more somber as it's about an ex wanting to meet up, but knowing where that would lead, so the safest bet is to meet for coffee. Except you realize you can't even do that because it's never just coffee. Naturally, I had to choose Holo Taco's Need I Say Mocha because it's coffee themed with a perfect name in my opinion. I feel like being in those types of situations, it's just what else is there to say? And it's a slightly darker and moodier brown to reflect the feel of the song too. Next up I have Mooncat's The Sea Between Us, which I chose to represent casual, or more specifically the music video where Chappell falls in love with a siren after hearing warnings to stay away. This is another sort of sad song that explores the difficulty of situationships and not being on the same page, where you might be regularly hooking up with someone but they tell their friends it's nothing serious, just casual. This shade is literally from the Songs of Sirens collection, which again works so well for the theme of the music video, but I thought the name was so fitting too, since to me it just represents that sinking feeling in your chest when you realize you and your partner are just on different pages. We do go back up in tempo though with this absolute banger of a track that's Super Graphic Ultra Modern Girl. This is another favorite of mine. It just elevates me to another dimension in a way that I just can't describe. So I chose Cirque Colors Sterling, which is this super shiny, reflective silver, mainly to highlight her chrome boots that she's wearing in the music video. She's basically this alien girl that's just walking around the mall and the city completely unfazed, and I just love that energy so much. The next song on the album is Hot to Go, and I had to choose Mooncat's House of Hades because I feel like this was a perfect match for her bright blue sequined bodysuit that she's wearing in the music video. This song is so good, so catchy. She basically wrote this as kind of like her version of a cheerleader type of song, which is why the title is spelled out and everything, and there's like a whole dance to it. It is just so fun, so upbeat. You just can't help but like have a good time when you're listening, and I love that so much. It's just another song about being hot and unashamed about it. This next song is another one of my favorites, and that's My Kink is Karma. It's such a great FU breakup song. I know the best thing is to take the high road, but this song just lets you indulge in how sweet revenge, or karma rather, can be, especially to the person who hurt you. I decided to use Mooncat's Your Heart's a Black Hole because the name felt very fitting, and the color also matches the aesthetics of the music video too. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any pics for Picture You or Kaleidoscope, but the good news is that I have 2 picks for Pink Pony Club. The first one I have is China Glaze's Kid in a Candy Store, because I feel like the name is just so perfect to capture that elated feeling that Chappell is singing about. The Pink Pony Club is inspired by a gay bar in West Hollywood, and the lyrics are just so liberating, especially for anybody who is from the Midwest, where it's just traditionally a lot more conservative, and so a lot of LGBT youth just feel like they can't be themselves. But then once you go to a gay bar in West Hollywood, you see what you're missing out on, and again, just so liberating, so beautiful, truly a song that can bring you to tears. I haven't been fortunate enough to see CHAPPELL ROAN live. I don't know if I will ever get the chance because she is just so big. I can imagine the tickets are getting so expensive, but from what I've seen, a lot of people obviously are wearing pink to her shows, and I thought another fun pink shade would be Static Nails Pink is My Kink. It just feels very CHAPPELL ROAN coded, so I wanted to include it. Unfortunately, I don't have any picks for Naked in Manhattan or California, so moving on to the final song of the album, we have Guilty Pleasure, and I thought that Holo Taco's Guilty Pleasure would be perfect. This shade is a thermal polish, so the colors transition based on whether you're feeling hot or cold, and I feel like it's a nice but subtle nod to the kind of back and forth that she's singing about, where there's lines like shame on me, shame on you, so you know, trying to stay away from it, but then letting herself indulge in her guilty pleasure by singing I fantasize about what we would do. So I feel like it's such a fun and beautiful way to end the album that's all about the highs and lows of dating and heartbreak and fully embracing her sexual identity. So like I mentioned in the intro, I do have a few extra shades that I wanted to share. The first one is Mooncat's Whiskey Sunrise, which is this beautiful coppery red multi-chrome that I chose to represent Chappell's iconic hair color. I saw this theory about musicians really making a name for themselves when their hair is super distinctive. I don't know how true that actually is, but I do think her hair is gorgeous, and I thought this color was a pretty close match. This polish was also from Mooncat's Midnight Rodeo collection, which kind of has this like Western or Midwestern sort of energy. I don't know, maybe that's a little bit of a reach, but in my mind, it makes sense. Next up, I have Cirque Colors Black Swan, which I chose to represent her iconic Black Swan look for The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Her nails for that look were much more iconic, but I don't know, maybe this is a good option for anybody who's planning to dress up as this look for Halloween, but you just hate super long nails. I feel like this color would just be perfect to tie it all together, especially because the name is so on point. I also love that there's a little hidden rainbow in this one. And last but certainly not least, I have Cirque Colors Sashay, which sadly isn't around anymore, but it's just this red, velvety, metallic kind of shade that I chose to match her cover art for her most recent single, Good Luck Babe. I thought the name was super fitting, but I just had to mention it since this was the very first song of Chappell's that I ever listened to, and it is just so beautiful. It brought me to tears. Her voice is just so good. This song specifically has this almost 80s synthy kind of sound, which I also really love, and it just gives me chills. It makes me feel like that one SpongeBob meme when I'm listening to it. So that wraps up my little curated collection inspired by Chappell Roan. So as always, I can't wait to hear what you guys think of my picks because I just feel a little nervous. Like, I really love this album. I love Chappell, and I obviously did my best to pick out shades that really matched the songs from the album. Some of them I think were better than others, but I did my best, and I feel like you can still see the connections, but I definitely would be interested in hearing what you would pick for the songs that I didn't include, like Picture You, Kaleidoscope, Naked in Manhattan, and California, because I just was at a loss for them. The closest that I could think of for Naked in Manhattan was ILNP's Manhattan collection, which I shared not too long ago, but that's more of a reach for me. And honestly, after filming and putting this video together, I was like, you know what? It probably would have been better if I just did nail art looks inspired by each of the songs, or, you know, inspired by certain music videos, but I feel like that would also be a lot. So maybe I can just revisit that in the future though. But either way, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave me a like if you did, and of course, make sure to leave me your favorite song from the album down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!